it just really, it was interesting to me today to see Al Sharpton address the murders and the killings, and to say that what happened with Takeoff is not a reflection of the hip hop industry. And so the hip hop industry should not be, penalized for what's happening. And I do want to say that Al Sharpton here, he showed his age. He definitely showed his age, because you're saying the hip hop industry. Everybody knows when you're a rapper and you don't want to be quote unquote about that life, you claim the hip hop industry. You go pop a little bit, you go mainstream. But the rap, the underground rap in which he's talking about, which comes from the struggle of oppression, of people who don't want to get caught up in the system and living life by the law, but being radicals or being outcasts, so to speak, that life glamorizes murder. Okay, we're talking about rap. We're not talking about hip hop here, Al Sharpton. So we need you to speed it up just a little bit. And in the rap industry, what happens is we're talking about there's drill music. There's all these different forms of rap. Okay, you got the mumble rap. You got all these, which glorifies lean and being on drugs, and all these different, rappers and what they stand for. And we see that it's not just Mr. Al Sharpton. It's not just our brothers that are dying from gun violence because of the music that's being produced. It's our young children, our young girls being sold into trafficking, thinking that they have to go out here and have sex with these older guys and be passed around in these traffic houses and be a part of that life and be strippers and be all of this. But it starts from a young age. And from that young age, these females are being extorted. These females are being raped. They're being sold, all because of the music industry. All right, the rap, not the hip hop. Okay, and then we talk about what is it? We talk about Al Sharpton said, "Oh, I know preachers that's packing." He tried to sound so hood. He said, "I know people that got guns. I know people that's really about that life. That's just the person." No, but when you have to portray to be a certain type of person to be accepted in an industry, you have to try to pretend to be a murderer. You have to try to pretend to sell dope, or either you're on dope, or either people who have done it. Then that's when the majority are promoting death to our people, because that's who is sponsoring it. You say it's underground music, keep it underground. The mainstream or the social media has exposed it. So you're saying that you blatantly know about what's going on underground, outside of the mainstream, and that these people are making it to be mainstream through these streams and being solidified, and they're mingling in. We see them doing interviews with children. We see them hugging children. They got all these kids around them, and these young kids are throwing up fingers like they shooting guns and stuff like that, like they popping people. They going around cussing, thinking it's cool, either sagging pants or tight pants with a cap on, throwing up gang signs, and knowing that it's people that's getting killed behind this. It's so bad that you got people who got real money, people who come from not a broken home, but a family that actually cares for them, having to act like they don't even have that because they want to fit in. So when you tell me, Al Sharpton, that you're so educated, how are you so educated and you know so much about how the movies and how seeing certain things mentally incapacitates a person? That's right. Let's really think about it. When you see a murder, it's PTSD. Is real. When you see a murder, when you hear of a crime and being on edge and stuff like that, all of this goes into psychology. And as a result, we have people who can't function in society. A lot of our people are getting Social Security disability benefits because they can't function in society. But they know how to function in hood settings, in strip clubs, around gangbangs, or all that. They know how to move street, but they don't know how to take themselves out of the situations that they are in. Save their lives, saves our children's lives, even amidst all of this money that they have. Nobody has ever really stepped up and gave back enough to where it actually has been affected. All these different organizations. I donate to organizations. You donate to organizations because a lot of these people have DBAs. They're doing business as, and some of them are nonprofits. Some of these artists, some of these rappers, right? They got touring companies, all these different things. They receive donations. You have to spend it so you don't get taxed on it. Okay, so you spending this money, you donating it to these organizations, and the money keeps getting funneled. But when it's really boiling down to it, who is being affected by it? How many of y'all have bought up y'all hoods, have taken these properties back from these Jewish developers and said, you know what, this is our land, and we're going to tell people, you know what, you don't run the streets like this. You don't kill and shoot innocent children, 9-year-olds being shot, 4-year-olds being shot, 6-year-olds being shot, straight bullets. Bullets don't have no names, and what's going on? What are they listening to when they driving over here to do this? What you hear going on in the back? Whole lot of weed smoke, whole lot of rap music. These fools ain't listening to no country music and going out and doing no drive-by, fool. Al Sharpton, we're going to need you to come again. And this time when you come, we're going to need you to come correct, because you do not care about these young boys. You are profiting. You, the NAACP, all these different people talking about they're still good rappers, blah, 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 blah. And these people, as a whole, you're not good enough. Because J. Cole, all these people who are, quote unquote good people, they're still enabling the people who are out here really in the streets. They do music with them. They get them views. They get them on. They get them popping because it's business and they want the money. And ain't nobody gonna say no to that money. They want the money. So they're promoting these murders and these killers, no matter if they themselves are quote unquote good. How could you be when you mingling with killers and you promoting them to children, to young kids? Because that's who's really spending the money. That's who's really getting y'all streams up, and you know it. That's why you dress like that. You're not dressing like no grown man is about to go handle some business, because you know your audience ain't for that. Your audience is for people who you think street, you think is gonna support you being a murderer, being on drugs. And nobody's saying nothing is why a lot of these people are being killed. Look at Aaron Carter. If fans, look at Mac Miller, if fans really love these people, if your fans really love you, they're going to tell you, listen, we love you and we support you, but we're not going to give you your views. We're not going to continue to support you, and you out here killing yourself because we love you that much. We gonna strike from you for about 30 days, bruh, or through your next project. You drop something that makes some sense, you get up off these drugs, you know what I'm saying? Talk about what you want to, but you stop promoting this stuff, we'll mess with you. And we the people don't seem to realize how much power that we have over these artists, because we put them in their positions. Like I said, they wouldn't be able to sell out shows and do half of the stuff they did if it weren't for us putting them in their position. And who gonna take back their powerful position and the ones that they play on when they playing with our kids? Nobody. And Al Sharpton, you gonna stand up for this and say, oh, in the hip hop, you're right, it's hip hop. But in the rap industry, something maybe you don't know too much about. You understand? Or maybe you do know a whole lot about it, and maybe you're getting paid off of it. And that's why you sitting up here and saying, listen, y'all don't shut down the music industry. Y'all don't shut down the rap industry. Y'all don't tell the truth about how we're killing people, how we are influencing them. And if you don't think it's real, then why do we have psychologists? Why do we have doctors that say that hanging out with these type of people, being influenced by these type of people, cause these young people to do this? Why do we have mitigated circumstances in the justice system that says that your life was so messed up, you've seen so many damaging things, that you could not have had any other choice but to act as a criminal? Why is that? You tell me, Al Sharpton, since you know so much and you're with so many politicians who are pushing for our children to continue to be confused instead of telling them the truth. This is really not about you. It's really not about it's really about the truth right now. You keep lying to these young kids and trying to tell them that no, it's not the music industry that's promoting this, while these 4-year-olds is going out emulating gun signs and shooting, acting like they shooting invisible people, and wanting to be gangbangers and throwing up sets and going to parties, and they're shooting and killing. Where they get the gun at? How they get the gun? Who was they influenced by? Everything is a learned behavior. When I came into this world, I learned how to walk, speak, talk, think by society, by my parents. I was conditioned. I was indoctrinated. And so are you. So how you gonna tell me that we learn from observing, watching, and seeing, but we not learning, observing, and watching and seeing from these rappers? You're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. Watch this video.
What do you think is the solution? I did speak to Method Man last week, and Method Man was like, everybody's always blaming hip hop, but it's bigger than hip hop. It's not our fault.
No, first of all, no one has been more on the gun violence and saying that we need to deal with things in hip hop. But I remember growing up, R&B artists used to get in shootouts. And fights. This is nothing new. Social media makes it where more people know about it. So we should not try and act like, you have a lot of people in hip hop that are very responsible, that are very creative, that help their community. So we should not act like that hip hop is synonymous with violence. Those that are violent, we ought to deal with. But a thug is a thug, whether they're singing jazz, whether they're R&B, whether they're singing gospel. I know some preachers packing. So let's not make it just about hip hop. Let's make it about people that are not acting like they ought to act.
Right? Will you be attending the services?
I've been so deep in these elections, I have not even just planned that far.